And let me remind you something. No matter how bad your day is, just remember, you don't have kids. Can you imagine coming home, trying to figure out how you're going to pay for gas, trying to figure out how you're going to get food, and someone goes, Mommy, Daddy, I'm hungry. Can we get chicken nuggets from McDonald's? And they're grabbing you with their greasy Cheeto Puff fingers with their equally greasy iPad in their hands. Nah, wrap it up. I hate when I tell somebody, like, I'm never having kids, and they be like, you saying that now? I'm saying it now. I'm saying it then. I'm saying it in my sleep. Like, I'm saying it. Like, I'm not having kids, and if you don't want to have kids, you just simply won't have kids. Like, they be like, yeah, I used to say that too. Okay, and you had a child because you wanted it. Like, it's plenty of ways to prevent having kids, and it's ways to not have children. Like, you can go get an abortion. Like, if I get pregnant today, and I know I don't want kids, which I know I'm not going to get pregnant because I don't even have sex. Never did it, not doing it. But if I get pregnant today, I'm having an abortion tomorrow. Like, it's dead serious. I'm not having kids. I don't want no kids. But, I mean, if you can prevent it, then prevent it. But I'm not having no kids. Like, I hate when people do that. Like, you had a child because you wanted that child. If you didn't want that child would not be here. Like, it's common sense to me. Like,
what sound or noise do you hate?
Kids playing. Fucking hate it. Get out of my face.
What game could they play that could truly drive you off a bridge?
Just that screaming. That, like, we're running around with screaming. I get it, but shut the fuck up.
Reasons I will not be having kids ever, ever, ever. Disclaimer, I do support the moms now, okay? Like, I support the moms. I support whatever it is a woman chooses to do. I'm just kind of telling y'all a little more about what I chose to do. The mental load of having to consider another human being is enough for me to kind of not want to have kids. I took my dog out with me not long ago, and it felt like I had a kid with me, and I was just stressed out because I wasn't able to just up and go or move around how I normally could. And that was just my dog. Imagine like a crying baby. I don't feel right in the head to keep up with all that. I don't feel like I can constantly accommodate the needs of another person. I could barely even keep up with myself sometimes. Another reason that I don't really want to have kids is because men are afforded a lot of space to lack accountability. This happens with them when they come out of the womb. You cannot raise men to be as incompetent as we see them be and then expect for younger generations of women to want to date them, marry them, have kids with them. All of the load ends up falling on our shoulders, and I just would be sick to my stomach if I woke up every day and that was my reality. Another reason that I cannot with kids is the toll that it takes on your body. Your body after having a kid, it will never be the same. It'll never be the same. And it's so crazy because even childbirth and what happens to your body during and after birth, we're not taught about this. So you're flung into having kids or whatever the case is and not even knowing all the different possibilities that can happen to your body once you give birth to a kid. I'm still learning new stuff every day about what could happen to my body if I were to give birth tomorrow. Like, why didn't we learn this in sexual education? Did y'all think it would deter us from having kids? Probably so. This next reason right here is something that I've kind of come to terms with more recently. It's just the fact that I cannot birth another body for this country. I just cannot birth another child for them to ultimately become another person in the system, ultimately become another person running the rat race and having to deal with taxes and racism and inflation and presidents and like literally everything that I am experiencing as a Black American in this country. I would want to shield my child from. The only way I would be able to do that is if I just don't have them.
Every woman I talk to seems like they have given true conscientious thought about the implications of motherhood. Every man I speak to is like, yeah, I just want to have a mini-me. I just want to continue my legacy. I just always thought about having a big family. Well, did you think about anything else? Like, I beg of you, a single other thing. And I just think it's like so insane how much of that labor gets pushed onto the mom inevitably. Part of the reason why I know I do not want to have kids, at least at this current moment in my life, is because I think I will without a doubt be the default parent. And that's not to say my partner won't do his fair share. It's just the way that my brain operates, I will take on so much more of that emotional labor than I would ever want to do. I know that I could be a really good mom. I feel this in my heart. I'm an empathetic person. I'm patient. I'm understanding. And all that being said, I don't think I'd be a happy one. I think I could be a good mom. I would always put myself last. I will sacrifice everything for the people that I love. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do it. And I think that should be fine. But it seems very much stigmatized. And it's preference. I don't judge women who want to be mothers, who are mothers. I just don't think that is going to be something I would enjoy, like, at all.
I want to talk about something that doesn't get said out loud enough when you're child-free, and it's not about not liking kids. Let's be clear. It's not about regret. It's definitely not about not being happy for your friends, because I am. I want to show up. I showed up for the engagement parties. I showed up for the bridal showers, the bachelorettes, the wedding, the mornings of the wedding, for the makeup, the whole thing. And then I showed up again for the baby showers, the baptisms, the birthday parties, the dance recitals, the jogathons, and the school events. And I didn't do this out of obligation, let's be clear. I did it because I actually love my people, family and friends. But here's the part that's hard to say and people aren't gonna like. There's this societal narrative that says, don't worry, when it's your turn, it'll come back to you. But if you're child-free, there is no your turn in the same way. There's no equivalent series of life events where people gather around you like that ever again. And even if there are moments worth celebrating, jobs, promotions, houses, your friends with kids often can't show up in the same way that you did for them. They're stretched thin, they're tired, their priorities have shifted, and that makes complete sense. Let me repeat, makes sense. But it can still feel really, really lonely because the energy that we gave so freely, presence, attention, showing up, money, doesn't always come back to you in the ways that it was told it would. And you can be deeply happy with your life and still grieve that. You can be deeply happy for your friends with kids who are married and still feel sad that you don't get celebrated the way that they do and did. Both things can exist. So if you ever have felt that sadness, that disconnect, you're not selfish, you're not doing life wrong, you're just noticing something that's real, and it's valid for those feelings to be acknowledged, and you deserve to do that for yourself.
I'm getting my tubes removed next week and I'm so excited. I'm not excited for the actual surgery because I get anxiety about anything medical, but I'm so excited for that chapter of my life to be over because it'll be extremely unlikely for me to get pregnant for the rest of my life, and that gives me so much comfort and so much peace. And it's almost healing to get that done when you're somebody who has grown up in fundamentalist religion, where I was basically told my whole life that having kids is like what God wants you to do, and that's your purpose, and that's something that fulfills every woman, and every woman, like, that's just what she really wants. And I never, ever felt that way. Not once in my life did I say, like, oh, I can't wait to have my own kids, or I want to be pregnant, or I can't wait for this. Never had that feeling once in my life. And it's so frustrating that when you don't want kids, you have to explain yourself. You have to, like, give a good reason. And I think it should be the opposite. I think you should give a good reason as to why you want kids, because it's such a big deal. You're bringing a conscious life into this world. It's a huge deal. And that's why it's so frustrating when I see people online who basically they'll belittle people, and especially women, saying that women who don't want kids are so selfish, and they don't actually think about the fact that what will happen if we convince women who don't want to be moms to be moms? What does that outcome look like? I was raised by a mother who didn't like me. She, like, literally just didn't like me, okay? And being a child to a parent who doesn't actually want to be a parent is traumatizing. It's traumatizing. It's really hard to heal from that in so many different ways. It impacts your life in so many negative different ways. And I just don't think these people think about what they're even saying. they don't think things through. They just think it sounds good, and a lot of these fundamentalists just say, well, God wants us to have kids, so that's all the further it goes. I heard one woman at a Turning Point USA event talking about how we need to convince more people to have kids before they're financially ready. And they're literally setting these people up for failure. And they're setting these kids up to be in situations that could cause a lot of trauma and a lot of harm. And I hate watching it. I hate watching that unfold, but yeah, I'm excited for that part of my life to be done. I've even had people, like, still to this day tell me I might change my mind. I'm 31. 31, never wanted it. My brain is fully developed. I'm good on that. But yeah, I just can't wait to have that peace of mind. One more thing I want to add is a lot of people say, well, why doesn't your husband just get a vasectomy? I want this. I want this for myself. And I'm sure there are people that are gonna relate to this, but just this idea, knowing that it's so unlikely that I could possibly ever get pregnant, it gives me so much peace and reassurance, and I want that so bad. So it's really not about anybody else but myself.
I am a married 32-year-old resident doctor, and let's have the baby conversation. I know that I am not the only one who feels this way and is having these thoughts, so I want to open up the floor for transparent discussion, because for too many of us, we feel pigeonholed into a certain type of life when that is not our only option, so we should talk about it. I thought I wanted to be a mom. My whole life, I thought that. And when my husband and I first got together 10 years ago, we made sure we were on the same page about the big things, including children. And we were like, we both want to be parents, but we're 22 and I wanted to be a doctor. So obviously not right now. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And now we're at that bridge. And I have always wanted to be a mom, but it's never been this like visceral need. I know for some people, they're like, I don't know who or what I would be without my children, without being a mom. And it's this absolute heartbreak if they're not able to have children, those kinds of things. And I've just never felt that way. I've never resonated with that feeling. And it's just like, would not be the end of the world if I couldn't. And my journey in medicine has really opened my eyes to the baby conversation. And so stick with me, even if you're not in medicine, I think you'll get something out of this. So I've wanted to be a doctor my whole life, and it has been this visceral need. Like, I don't know who or what I would be without medicine, without becoming a doctor. And now I've finally done it. I'm here. I walk into a room and I introduce myself as Dr. Remzik, and I'm a resident physician, and it kind of fucking sucks. I realized through this journey, I don't like being sleep deprived. I don't like being overworked. I don't like having my free time taken away from me. And I realized that this thing that I wanted so badly, more than anything in this world, is just like not all that it's cracked up to be. And it's made me think like, wow, is that what parenting could be like? You know, like, is that what it could be like? And then the more and more that I've thought about that, and the more and more I keep pushing out that window, I'm like, wow, do I even want them? And I've just now allowed myself recently to imagine a life without children. And it's like a weight's been lifted. And I'm like, wait, I can spend my time and money doing what I want to do, having fun with my husband, and just the world is our oyster. And that just seems so much more exciting to me than being pregnant and having a kid. And I feel like I just have to kind of listen to what my gut is telling me. I want to know your thoughts.
I'm not having kids, and that's because I fully recognize, understand, and respect what goes into being a great parent. I have thought long and hard about what kind of parent I would be, what a child would need and deserve from me in order to thrive in this world. And I do believe I'm fully capable of that, but I don't want to do that. And the reason I don't want to do that is because I did not have the parents or the support that I deserved as a child. And I am essentially just figuring out life and how to do things in my 30s and how to handle my emotions and process things and feel things in my body. Like, I'm just now figuring that out. And I respect and agree with the fact that children need that support. But if I were to have a child, I have now spent 2 years focusing on myself and my own healing, and now my job for the rest of the child's life, but primarily the first 18 years, is now about the child. And that's what they would deserve. That's what a child needs. That's what you should do if you decide to be a parent. But because I didn't have that, because I didn't have that support and experience as a child, I'm learning to give myself those things now. And it's a choice. I don't want to bring children into this world. I want to spend the rest of my life treating myself the way that I should have been treated the whole time. I've been parenting myself. I've been parenting my parents. I've been parenting my family. I've been mediating my family my whole fucking life. And a child deserves all of those things. I didn't deserve to have to do that as a child, but if I were to choose to bring a child into this world, they would 100% deserve and require that from me. And I know that I would give it to them, but I would be an unhappy person. I would feel like my entire life was in service to other people, and that's just not something that I want. And in my opinion, I feel like that's incredibly irresponsible for me, like of me. And not only does a child deserve all of those things, but they also deserve happy parents who really want to do that and want to do that for a child, for their children. And if I were to have children, I would want to do that, but I don't want to have children, so I have to do that, if that makes sense. So hopefully somebody can relate.
I can't imagine coming home from like the longest 12-hour shift to mommy. No. Mommy would be playing in traffic. I can't even handle getting home from work and my cats being up my ass like they are. And you want to add kids to the mix? Count me out. I'll be the fun aunt, because I'm not doing all that.
This is 5 reasons why I don't want kids. Number 1, I get overstimulated and I get irritated quick. But look, you see how I slipped up and said, bitch? See, that's one reason why. That's disrespectful as hell. That's a bad mama trait. I can't do that. See, now I slip up and say some shit like that. So I need to gain a lot of patience when it comes to kids. Reason number 2, I can't stand all that whining and crying. You can't tell me what you want and stuff like that. Yes, you cute. Yes, I understand. You was a little baby. Yes. But look, what the fuck you want? What you crying for? You changed, you failed, you... What is it like? What? Reason number 3, I would be a single mama. I want the baby. I do not want the baby daddy. And I would say that with my whole heart, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of fucking women, America. I do not want no fucking baby daddy. Leave me alone. Reason number 4, baby, I be having some broke days and some broke times. And baby, I gotta eat, you gotta eat, bills gotta be paid. Like, some ain't gonna... Look, some gotta give, and you need pampers, and you need what? I can't scratch. Look. No. Reason number 5, which should have been reason number 1, I do not like 24-hour care. 24/7 care. I do not like that. I did that shit growing up as an older sibling. I felt like I did 24-hour, 24/7 care. I do not want to watch no child 24 hours, 365, 7 days a week. Hell no. I can't do it.
I saw a post on here recently from a woman that doesn't have kids, and she's basically just talking about how she doesn't plan to have kids. She's child free. She doesn't desire children at all. And someone in the comments said that they don't want kids so bad that they don't even want to be an aunt. And apparently one of their siblings had a kid, and now she's just forced to play this aunt role in this child's life, and she's just not really feeling it. I thought that was such an interesting perspective that you really don't hear that often, because I do say that one of the reasons that I don't want kids is because I don't want to be around no kids. Like, I don't want to be around no kids. So I really never even considered the fact that once my siblings have kids, that, you know, I have to be I got to show up as an aunt. And I wish I could find the post that comment was under. I low-key wish I would have DM'd her, because I really just appreciated that she felt comfortable sharing that, because like I said, it's just a perspective that you don't really hear very often. Like, she's like, I don't even want to be an aunt. Like, I'm forced to be an aunt and I don't even want to do that. She's so real for that. I'm sorry.
You know, oftentimes in that I get asked at the tender age of 35, why don't you have kids? When are you going to have kids?
I don't want kids.
But why? Because
I'm not mother material.
Well, what do you mean? Everybody has a maternal bone. Say that to the kids that's in foster care right now. Say that to the kids that don't have emotional stability from their parents. Say that to the kids. Say it. I don't hear you saying it. When a person is consciously aware of what they're able to provide, let them. I don't have the emotional stability for a child. Not to have one. I suffer from schizophrenia, bipolar, and severe depression. So I'm looking at it as, what is postpartum going to do to me? I have days where I can't even get out of bed. How am I going to get out of bed with a crying baby? How? Situational awareness is not selfishness. Maybe it is. But I think it's selfish to have a kid knowing that you can't provide what that child needs. I'm an educator. I can give it during business hours. But see, as a parent, you got to give it through all that. And I just don't have that. So, I'm just saying. Stop asking people that.
I'm really trying not to fucking be a ranter on the internet, but we need to talk because I am so fucking sick of people minding my business. I do not want children. Like millions of other women around the world, I do not want children, period. None of your fucking business. So fucking sick of people telling me, you're gonna regret that, you'll change your mind. No, I fucking won't. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to be sleep deprived. I don't want to push a demon out of my banny hole. All right, I said what I said. I know too many people that have had children because they're fucking bored or they think that's just the next thing to do in life because they just follow some sort of bullshit tradition and they're fucking miserable, and I refuse to be that way. I also know a lot of my friends that have got children that are fucking gloriously happy, and I'm so happy for them, and I adore their children like they are my nieces and nephews. I will be the fit, sexy, rich aunt that travels and no one really knows where she is. Put the same pressure on women having children as you would do to a woman having a tattoo. When it comes to a woman having a tattoo, everyone's like, oh my god, think about this because this is forever, it's a big decision. Are you absolutely sure? When it comes to a kid, you're like, yeah, have a kid, fuck off about having a kid. Are you going to look after it? I've been told before that I'm selfish for not having children. Do you know what is selfish? Bringing a child into this world that I actively can't give my time and energy to. You know what else is selfish? Broke ass bitches actively trying for children. I know that's going to get me some hot water, but if you are not financially stable, why are you actively trying for a child? And do you know what? For you that have kids, I want your children to be happy, healthy, live the most fucking glorious lives. But for me, leave me and my savvy bee the fuck alone and catch me on a beach. I'm so sorry to any of the misogynists or old-fashioned bitches, but a woman's purpose is not just to be a wife and a mother. We have businesses, we have careers, we have aspirations. The next time you think to tell a woman you're going to regret having a child, suck a fat one and leave us the fuck alone. For all my ladies on here that have children, I adore you all. I adore your children and you are fucking wonderful. All the girlies on here that don't want kids, babe, same. Do you want to go for a drink?
One of my most proudest accomplishments in life is not having kids. I am so proud of myself for being child-free, especially as a millennial single living for me truly, freely, happily. That takes willpower. People talk a lot about how much it takes to be a mother, and I am not knocking that at all. If you love being a mother or dream or want to be a mother, then this video might not be for you. Kudos to you, sending you all the love and blessings. However, I think it is so important to celebrate being child-free. Now you might think, wow, that's pretty sad and pathetic. You are most proud of being child-free, like you haven't really lived life or done much. I have done so much in my life. I feel like I've lived multiple lives. I've been in love more than once, in healthy relationships. I've been in some toxic situations where I grieved and I cried and I learned so many lessons. I've traveled the world by myself. I have built a business and brand that I am so proud of. My life's work, living true in my passion. I got into my dream university and graduated one of the top in the nations. I've worked so many jobs in different industries and met tons of people that have inspired me. I've gone through spiritual awakenings. I've gotten so close to God. I'm just grateful. I am still young and have so much more life to live. I just wanted to say how proud I am of myself for being child-free. That takes boundaries, that takes standards, that takes emotional intelligence, that takes being selective, that takes straying away from society's expectations and norms, not following the crowd, and sometimes being solo, being looked at, being judged like you are weird or don't know what you're doing in your life, especially when you're over the age of 30, not married, single, or don't have kids. So shout out to my child-free girls out there. I think we should be so proud of ourselves.
This is just your reminder to never disclose whether or not you have children in a job interview, because no matter how you answer, especially if you're a woman, they will use that against you. Yes, I'm being serious, and it's incredibly unfair. Ironically, it's the opposite for men, but we don't have time to get into that today. But if you are a woman, you were in a job interview, and you say that you have children, you automatically decrease your chances of getting hired. That percentage rises even more drastically depending on the age of your children. Companies that chose to participate in a study admitted that if a woman said she had children under the age of 12, they were less likely to extend her an interview. Is that illegal? Absolutely. On the flip side, if you are a woman and you don't have children, and you admit that, you are also at a higher risk of being given additional tasks and work responsibilities outside your set work responsibilities, of being volunteered for additional roles, of being assigned longer hours and more convenient or less desirable hours, because they think they can take advantage of you because you don't have children. Keep those personal details to yourself, and let me know if you want me to do a deep dive on men in the exact same situation.
You know what I find most annoying about the like children are people too community is that like they fall apart when you say you don't like kids. And for me, I don't like people. So if kids are people too, I don't like their asses either. You can't pick and choose when children get to experience personhood or peopling, right? Like if they're people, other folks don't like people. So guess what? I don't like children. Never mind the fact that like y'all assume that not liking something means I'm going to harm something. Y'all are weird. Find a therapist, talk to Ellie about your problems. When I say I don't like people, I don't discriminate based on age. I don't like your toddler. I don't like your granny. And I don't like you.
I want 5 kids. I don't even think half of them would even want one. I don't think they'd do it.
During my last relationship, I realized that I did not want kids, and my ex was still on the fence about it. And I felt bad because he would probably be like a good dad. I remember exactly where we were. We were on vacation in Colorado in the hotel room, and I remember looking at him and being like, I feel really bad. Like, I feel like if you could birth a child and do all the things, you would. Without skipping a beat, he goes, hell no, I wouldn't do that. I've never questioned or felt bad about my decision from that day forward. Absolutely not. No.
I've been seeing a lot of these types of videos coming across my For You page, and it's really like the really angry parents, like shaming people who decide to have child-free lives. And I'm just really confused as a person who has a child. I chose to have a child, but I don't understand the hatred towards people living child-free lives. Like one person I saw, they had stitched a video, and I don't know who the creator was, but it was like essentially, you know, they're flaunting their financial well-being, and like what's the point of being a child-free influencer? Like you're just peddling this lifestyle and you're missing out on like this greatest love. And while I admit having a child is a different type of love, I don't necessarily think that you are missing out on having that type of love if having a child is not for you. Children are a lot of work, and it's not easy, and it's really hard, and children are annoying and make you tired, and not every single moment of parenthood is this amazing thing. A lot of it sucks. Of course, you have the love of your child, but that's selfish. You shouldn't be having a child just to love you. You shouldn't be having a child just to experience this love. You should have a child because you want to have a child and you want to provide for that child and help that child become a happy, healthy adult without any stipulations of what that means for you. What happy, healthy means in your eyes. They should be happy in whatever life chooses for them or they choose for their life. So I don't understand all this like hatred towards child-free people, because I think they're making smart choices for them. If they don't think they should have children, they know better than anyone else. So why are we judging people for not having kids? And also, like, I can understand being like, I really think some of these people who are judging people for not having kids are just jealous that they decided to have kids and don't have the free time and the money that these single people do, or these child-free people do. Because I know I certainly get jealous. I can't just leave the house on a whim. I have to make plans, and I have to figure out where my son's going to be, and it's a lot of work again. And I will freely admit my jealousy for child-free lifestyle. I would not go back to a child-free lifestyle. Obviously I cannot. I have a child. But I don't understand the hatred and anger for those people who are choosing to be child-free. Let them live their lives. In what way does it affect you at all? In what way does someone not having a child impact your life, specifically your life? It doesn't.
I don't know how having a baby could make anyone pro-choice. After having my son, I'm even more pro-life. It is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. So let me get this straight. You were pregnant. You gave birth. You went through the discomfort and pain associated with pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum. And your reaction to that was, yes, I think I have the right to force other women to go through this. Are you insane? Like when somebody says, you know, they had a baby and it made them even more pro-choice, that makes complete sense to me because they've gone through this incredibly difficult, taxing experience, and it reinforces that, oh my gosh, we should not force people to go through this if they don't want to. But saying having a baby made you more pro-life is nonsensical. It doesn't make a lick of sense. You went through a life-threatening situation because pregnancy and especially childbirth is life-threatening, and your reaction or your takeaway from that was, oh, I know I should also make all other women go through a life-threatening experience. That's borderline psychotic, actually.
Why are mothers so triggered by people that don't want kids?
Because they hate their fucking lives and they hate their fucking kids. What do you mean? Imagine, since the day you're born, you're told you want to feel fulfilled, have a baby. So then you get to the age where you can have a baby. You feel unfulfilled, because most people do feel unfulfilled until a certain part of their life. And, you know, you're like, oh, I feel unfulfilled. That probably means I should have a baby. And then you have a baby and you feel unfulfilled, and you also threw all your goals, dreams, and aspirations out the window. And now you're probably stuck with somebody that you don't even like that much. And you probably resent your kids. I know a few people who are really good parents and really love their kids, and you can tell they're fulfilled by being a parent, but I'm gonna go big with it. I would say 90% of people that I know that have children, either very clearly like inwardly resent their children and like it manifests in other ways, or I know quite a few people that were like, this was a mistake. So imagine making a mistake that you're gonna have to live with for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. You have to give your life to another person, and they're not going to be grateful for it, and they may not even like you. You may not even like them, but, you know, it's the choice you made, and then you meet somebody like me. Yeah, I'd be fucking triggered, too. I'd be pissed off, because I'd be like, oh, like, are you going to project that onto me, or are you going to project that onto society that lied to you because they want more little workers, because that's all it is. You want more little workers to feed the machine. You know what I'm saying? I'm easier to blame, and I will take the blame. Blame me all you want, because I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you had a kid and that did not make your life better. Okay.
Being child-free is the flex that you think it is. The freedom, the flexibility, the abundance that comes with like not having that type of responsibility is so important for every young person to understand. People who have made a decision before they have like actually realized the decision that they made project so much anger and insecurity onto others because they know that if they could go back in time and make that same decision, they wouldn't. And imagine you make that decision when you're like super young, and then obviously things aren't going to work out, because generally in those type of situations, when you have your children when you're very young, you're meeting yourself and another person at a level that you have not been able to evolve to yet. So when you evolve to being this woman that you've always wanted to be, you're looking around and you have dead weight with you. It's just like, I don't know, like, I'm just so happy every single day that I chose myself before making decisions that would have like ruined my life. Again, this is not to bash anybody or to say that your choice in having children is wrong, but I just wish more people understood that that is a choice. Having children is a choice. You do not have to do that. There's no better time than being a free woman. Like, I don't know, like, I just love it.
Sometimes when I tell people that I don't want kids, they're shocked. They're like, oh, why not?
because I'm an older sister. And when I tell you the stress that a younger sibling will put you through sometimes, that's all I got in me. I don't have enough to give for a kid. And I think there needs to be some sort of support group for not only older sisters, but eldest daughters. Because good God Almighty, the things that we go through.
Right now, I don't think I want children anymore. I was very adamant after that experience that I didn't want kids anymore. And not because I don't think I would not be a great mother, but because I understand how much women lose, how much they carry, how much they risk, how much they survive in a way that the people who are controlling women's bodies don't. In a way men would never understand. Because being a woman requires such courage, that when that choice is taken away from us, it is so debilitating, so immoral, so wicked. Because if you're not a woman, or if you're not a person who is able to carry a pregnancy, you should never be able to speak on what that woman can do with her body. End of fucking story.
I don't think I ever want kids. Now, before you guys come at me, let me explain to you why I don't want kids. The reason why I don't want kids is because I grew up in a toxic household with my mother. I don't really talk about my mom because she's not in my life. Nothing happened to her. We just don't have a relationship. And she kind of just had kids to have kids. Honestly, I can say this because she's my mom. I don't think she was meant to have kids. So I was her firstborn, and maybe she should have just had me, but she didn't. She went ahead and had 3 other kids, so she has 4 kids in total. She never took care of us. Since I was the oldest, I always had to take care of my little brothers, and I wasn't much older than them. I think the one after me is 2 years younger. The other ones were also like close in age. So we were all close in age. But since I was the oldest, I had to take care of them while my mother did other stuff that I'm just not going to get into that. But it's the fact that I had to take care of my siblings because she wasn't a good mother. I don't want to bash on my mom, but because I just know people have their own opinions, and I don't want to hear anything like, oh my gosh, but she's still your mother. Okay, but you don't know the whole story, so just shh, please. So that is one of the reasons why I don't want kids. It's because I had to take care of my siblings, and I had to worry at a young age. I'm talking about like I was 6 years old, acting like I was a grown-up, because my mom just didn't know how to raise us. I don't have patience for kids. Kids are a lot. I have a lot of respect for mothers, and I know it's a big job. You know, it's yeah, you're taking care of a child, you're raising a child, you know, it's a lot. And I just don't think that I could ever see myself doing that. Because I'm, you know, if you want to call me selfish, but I like my own time. I like my own money. I like my own peace. I like my life. Sometimes. I just feel like a kid would bring me down. Yeah, I don't ever see myself getting pregnant and raising a child. I just, like, that is the craziest thought. Now, a lot of people tell me, you're gonna change your mind. I've had this thought of not wanting kids since I was probably 15, because I also grew up with my dad's side of the family, and, you know, we are very family oriented, and everybody, you know, just
wants to have a family. I think around me, I always heard like, oh, you're supposed to get married and have kids. And up until I was 15, I was like, okay, well, you know, that's my future. I have to get married and have kids. But as soon as I left that environment, I actually thought about it and I was like, I don't want kids. You know, yes, I do want to get married. I would want to spend the rest of my life with someone, but having a kid is not it. And as I get older, I just, the thought of having kids is like out the window. Like, I cannot have a kid. I don't like kids. I mean, I love my nieces and nephews. I love them so much, but I just cannot. I'm glad it's my cousins having kids, you know, and I can hold them, I can be with them, play with them, whatever. But just for a little bit. Like, I don't think I could actually take care of a child. I don't want to have that responsibility of having to be a mother to a child. I don't think I'll ever have kids, but I will say this. If I do meet someone and, you know, I fall in love and they want to have kids, I probably will have kids, but maybe like 1 or 2, but that, like, me and him have to talk about it, and, you know, he has to hear me out, I have to hear him out, you know, we really have to talk about, you know, having kids, because I'm very, like, I don't want kids, so I would really need to be in love with that person and say, like, oh my gosh, I want to have a kid with you. But my goal is obviously to find someone who doesn't want kids. But I think that's very hard because I've met so many guys that I've told this to. I've told them I never want kids, and they're like, what? You don't want kids? You're a woman that doesn't want kids? Are you crazy? Like, you don't want a family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know if there's a lot of men who don't want kids, is the thing. So that's gonna be a little bit hard to find. For me, I wanna, you know, enjoy my life, enjoy my peace. I have cats, so I can barely keep up with my cats because sometimes they're a lot. So imagine a kid. No. I just want to travel. I want to spend time with my cats. I just want to be able to go anywhere without having to worry that I have to take my kid there, or that I have to, you know, somebody has to babysit them because I have to work, or I have to go somewhere and they can't come with me. Like, that just seems a lot for me. And I get it, like, that's a lot of people's dream, to have a baby, but for me is, you know, just being happy with my own time, and just, you know, worry about me. If I do have a partner, then worry about us. But other than that, I think I'm good with not having kids, at least for now. We'll see if I fall in love. I don't think so. We'll see if I find a partner, which I don't think so. But if I do, then yeah. I don't know. I'll update you guys, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. So that's my take on kids.
This is totally random, but I think I finally came to the conclusion that I do not want to have kids. I don't have a desire to be pregnant. I don't have a desire to be a mother. I enjoy owning my own time, being able to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it. I like having my own money. I don't like spending money. Like, I just honestly, like, don't have the desire. I feel like I thought that I should have kids, but the older I get and the longer I go without having kids, I realize that I'm good. I think I'm going to be okay.
All right, y'all, that is a wrap for today's video. I just want to say a special shout out to the Childfree gang. Thank you guys once again for all your continued support for this channel. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, video ideas, or anything else, please send me your email request to childfreelt@gmail.com. Again, childfreelt@gmail.com. Okay. So once again, thank you guys so much for the continued support of this channel. Thank you for getting me to over 6,000 subscribers. If you are new to my channel, please make sure you hit that the comment button, and please make sure you put new subscriber on my channel. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to check you guys out in my next one. Bye.